I feel like I was just here with you. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to go live from Facebook and Instagram at the exact same time. Now, I've never done this, but if you see me looking in different places, this is why. So I'm going to try. Because apparently, like, my connection has to be really good. Hi, Instagram. I've never gone live on Instagram before, so hello. And hi, Facebook. Hopefully when you're here, say hello, let me know that you're here. I am so excited about this free 3-part series that I'm doing this week. So the three-part series that I'm doing this week is called The 3 Myths That I Had to Bust Through in Order to Go All In and Get Big Results in My Business. And I think that they're really important because for those of you who don't know, so again, this is so freaking me out looking at Instagram and looking at Facebook. When you're here, say hello. How many of you followed along with the All In extravaganza last week? I'm curious. How many people followed along with the All In extravaganza? Yes? No? So as you know, this all started July 26th whenever well, it started before that. So, and it culminated in changing the name of the group to the All In Entrepreneur. And so it turned into this whole big celebration. Hi, who's here? Tell me hello. Let me know that you're here with me. I don't know that I can handle looking in 2 places at one time. I know people go live like from Instagram and Facebook at the same time every time. I don't think I can handle it. Hi, Holly. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Belinda. It's like too much for me. I don't know. I think I need a different setup. I need to be able to put my phone like right behind me so I'm looking in the same place. That might help next time. I might end Instagram. Hold on. I'm ending it. Nobody's joined me there anyway. So I'm not sharing my video. I'm discarding it. Okay, so I'm all here with you. I'm just here with you guys. So last week, who was with me for the All In extravaganza? So last week, okay. So for people who don't know what any of this is, right? I had scheduled a day to go all in on my dream for my business. And my dream, there are components to it, but the main thing that you need to know is it involves being a 7-figure business, right? So me being the CEO of a 7-figure business. And I planned an entire day to step into an actual day in the life of that, right? Not like a fantasy, oh, I'm a 7-figure business owner and I'm just like lounging on a beach and isn't this wonderful? It's like, no, if I'm a 7-figure business owner, I'm really doing work, right? I mean, there's a certain personality I have, certain things I'm doing in order to step into that reality. So when I planned my actual day, my CEO day, I had a podcast interview that I did with someone amazing and where I was interviewing for my podcast. And I had lunch with Christina Barreri, who owns Reston Limousine, and that was such an insightful lunch. And I had a publicist pitch me for the media because 7-figure CEO Rita pitches the media, right? So I had this idea of, hi, Arena. I had this idea of things that I was going to be doing as a 7-figure business owner. And so I scheduled them all. And I lived the day as if I was a 7-figure business owner before I was. And everything changed in my business. How long ago was that? That was on the 26th, Friday the 26th. Guys, it's been 2 weeks later. I will tell you that I am 1 client away from being fully booked with a waiting list, which, as you all know, is an intention that I set at the beginning of the month. I have a couple of more irons in the fire with media. I've gotten speaking engagement requests. I mean, all from stepping into my life as if I already had the business that I wanted. Does that make sense? So I'm sharing with you because people have been saying, well, how did you do it? So what we did last week is we had tangible tips for you. If you missed the videos last week, go back and watch all the videos last week. They were shorter. They were in the morning. They're all pinned to the top of the group under the announcements. But the idea of those videos was to help you get clear on what you want to go all in on, so that you can kind of have the same experience of stepping into it now, right? But it's like a lot of people said, I want to go all into my business. This is something that I really want to do, but I don't really know what that means, or I don't know how to go all in, or I feel focused, I feel scattered and not focused. How many of you are feeling 100% certain on what you need to do to go all in? If you're feeling 100% certain on everything you need to do to go all in, hit 1. If you're feeling scattered, like, I want to go all in. I'm just not sure what to do that. Hit 2 so that I know where you are in your business, right? But when I decided to have a publicist pitch the media for me is when I found out that Friday the 26th was National All or Nothing Day. And so I was going all in on my dream of being a 7-figure business owner. So I challenged you all to get very clear and pick something in your business that you wanted to go all in on. And that's what the trainings last week were designed to help you do, so that you could declare what you want to go all in on. But in giving these trainings and all, it became very obvious that not everybody is 100% clear on what they need to do to go all in, or where the best use of their time is to go all in, or the most efficient and effective way to reach their goals, right? Holly Shan says 1, Irina says 2. Okay, so we've got like half and half, right, so far. So keep telling me if you're watching on replay, make sure you tell me too. Some people know that it's just like, I want to go all in, and I want to go all in on being fully booked with a waiting list, but I don't know how to do that, right? So that would still put you in number 2. Like, you're not 100% certain. You know you want to do it. You're not 100% certain how. So those trainings last week, and thank you, Irina, for saying that those were valuable trainings. I really thought they were some of the best trainings that I've done in the group, touching on all of the areas that I think were really important in helping you achieve success in your business. So that's what we did last week, to help you get clear on maybe where you want to focus and put your attention and energy so you can really go all or nothing, go all in on your business. Because you can't be half in a car and half out of a car trying to drive the car and wondering why the car's not going straight, or why it's not going fast, or why it's not going anywhere at all. Right? You have to be all the way in the car with the doors shut and locked, and well, you don't have to have the doors locked, but it's safer if you do, and your feet on the gas, right? Driving forward. So that's how you make movement, right? So it's the same thing in your business, but it can be really scary. And so as I did the training and got you all very clear, or helped you get clearer on where you need to focus your time and attention, one thing I realized are there are these stories that I told myself that I'm going to share with you, things that held me back, right? Because I know it's easy to look now and be like, well, see, Rita, she scheduled a millionaire day and everything just flowed in for her. How wonderful for Rita. Like, no, y'all, it didn't happen like that. I'm going to tell you some of the back end stuff around it, right? But also back end stuff around my business. And the moment that I just started getting okay with going all in and really getting big results in my business, it was when I busted through these 3 stories that I was telling myself, these 3 myths, these 3 things. And I'm hearing the same stories being said throughout the training from last week, okay? So whether it's like you want to go all in on your business, or even if you're wanting to go all in your health, or all in on your family, or whatever you're watching this for, right? I guarantee that these are some of the same stories, the same myths, the same things that are holding you back. And if you don't bust through these, you're not going to move forward. But I'm not just here to tell you, here's the myth and what you have to do. Like, I'm telling you how it affected me, how it held me back, what it did to me personally, that I struggled with it, and what I did to overcome it. So Rachel says, I was on vacation last week. Oh, I hope it was fun. Where did you go? Was it somewhere good? But it sounds like I need to go back and look at some. Those really were some of the best videos, Rachel. So I suggest it. I highly suggest it, right? Okay. So last week we started talking about some of the things that would help you go all in your business. Like, what does that look like for you? How is it working for you? And one thing that came up was around resources. How many of you, and I'm curious, like, when you think about this bigger vision you have of your business, so you think about being a multi-6-figure business owner, or a 6-figure business owner, or a paid international public speaker, or you think about being a published author, you think about having your own TV show, or you think about whatever it is, right, that you're dreaming of or thinking of having in your business, how many of you feel like you need certain things in place before you can actually start taking action towards that? I'm curious. Yes, no? So like, what is the thing that you ultimately want in your business? How about like we start there and you tell me that here in the comments, like, fully booked with the waiting list, 6-figure business owner, 6-figure CEO, multi-6-figure CEO, 7-figure CEO, published author, international speaker. Now, you might want all of them, right? The reality is you might want all of that. I think that's great. I want it all too. But let's pick one to go all in on. We can't go all in on everything and do it well, right? So what's the thing that you just really want to go all in on? In our training last week, we called that kind of your first destination, not your first stop, for the first destination. So where is your first destination? Where is the first place that you want to go all in on? Tell me. This was interactive. I always said this was going to be interactive, guys. So I need you to be interactive. Like, where is that ultimate destination for you right now? Like the first, you know, when you think ahead to the future of your business, like that first future, right? Because we have multiple futures with our business. Tell me where you want to end up. You guys are being quiet. It's okay to say it. Like, it's okay to say it. In fact, the more you say it, the more likely you are to achieve it. If you don't know, say, I don't know. Like, type that. I don't know what I want for that ultimate vision right now. I don't know if I want to be a paid public speaker. I don't know if I want to be a published author. I don't know if that's the thing that I want to work towards. Like, what's going on for you guys? Let's see. Hi, Heather. So let me know, right? But this is something that came up multiple times last week, which is why I'm bringing it up. And this was a thing that held me back like crazy. And it came from my corporate background. And it came from corporate America. How many of you come from corporate America? How many of you have like a corporate America background? What did you do before you were an entrepreneur if you were in corporate America? I would love to know. So Holly wants to be at a full client load with a waiting list. Cool. So Holly, is there anything that you think you need to put in place first before you can really go all in on that? What do you think you need before you can go? Why aren't you going all in on that right this second, right? Like, why are you here watching trainings, right? Like, why aren't you going all in on it right this very second? What is it that you think you need in order to be able to go all in on it? Tech support, call center, customer service. So you think you need all of that in place before you can really be fully booked with a waiting list, right? Oh, no, wait, or is that what you did in corporate America? I hate lags on Facebook. I don't know which question you're answering, so. Okay, so Holly is going all in right now. She is going all in. That's good. So tech support, call center, customer service is what you did in corporate America before. I gotcha. So if you're watching a replay and you were in corporate America, tell me, right? But here was the Rita mentality from corporate America. And not just from corporate America, but from being raised by a mother I love who was able to do so much for us as a single parent, but her money situation and her money reality was based on what was going on in her life. And of course, we take on habits from the people that were around, that were being raised by. How many of you, I'm curious about this, how many of you feel, how do I want to word this? Type yes or no. Feel like you inherited a really great relationship with money and feel like you inherited really great money habits from whoever raised you, right? How many of you feel like you just absorbed the best money mindset, the best money habits? Because some people did, right? And how many of you feel like, no, could have been better? And how many of you are like, that is why everything is a struggle for me? Because of the money mindset and the money habits that I inherited, right? I didn't inherit terrible money habits or mindset, but I didn't inherit the best, right? I inherited stories that were true for my mother based on her single parent situation that aren't true universally, right? And also didn't have to be true for her. But of course, we do the best that we can with what we have. But based off of kind of society, based off my family, based off corporate America, like I had these ideas, right? And everything seemed to be, before I can do something, I need to do something. So how many of you have that thought about anything or about a lot of things? Before I do something, I need to do something. So Rachel's like, I have good many habits, but not. So Rachel, once you get that mindset piece like kicked in, right? It's like, boom, right? The sky is going to be the limit for you. How many of you have that thought? Before I blank, I just need to blank. So before, like for me, it was before, I don't know, before whatever, I need to go to college, right? Before I can apply for that job, I need to get experience doing this. Okay, so let's even talk about it in corporate America. Like, okay, before I apply for this job that says you need 5 years of whatever experience, I only have 2, so I need 3 more years before I can apply for that job. Or, oh, you know what? I'm not quite ready yet to go to the gym and work out. I need to lose weight before I go to the gym. How many people have thought that, honestly? It was like, great. Like, oh, I'm not fit enough to go to the gym. To go to the gym. I've thought that before, right? Or, oh, I can't apply to speak. I can't apply to speak somewhere until I have a talk. Once I have a talk in place, then I can apply to speak. So once I like meet with a speaking coach or a business coach and get my talk outlined, then I can apply to speak. I can't do that until I have, I can't have a business coach until I have clients. I can't get support until I've hit a different level of my business. I can't create an online course until I know all the pieces of my online course. I can't sell an online course until I've created it, right? I can't start my diet, although I hate diets, right? But I can't start eating better until I have all of this stuff. Or you know what? I can't start my fitness routine until school's back in session, because I have my kids and my life is out of whack and there's no consistency to my schedule. So I can't start being healthy until after I have the school there supporting me by watching my kids. So like, what stories are going on for you right now that you can't do something until something else is in place? Because this is going to be one of the biggest things that pop up to hold you back. So here's how it happened for me. So all of you hear my story at the beginning. And for those of you who don't know, I was a business attorney. I was a business attorney for a long time in a variety of capacities, business and real estate attorney. And I left for date coaching. And it sounds like I grew my date coaching practice overnight, because technically I did, right? Like in 3 months, I had surpassed my attorney salary. I was an expert in the Washington Post, you know, contributing. I was touring and speaking. I had a good number of clients. I had, like I said, I was making a nice salary. And people feel like that was overnight, right? 3 months. It really wasn't. I had run a singles group. I've shared this story many, many times, so this isn't new for all of you, but if it is, right? I had run a singles group for 5 years in the DC area as a hobby, and through that really became positioned as like a leader in the singles world and the singles community, had gotten press for the singles group, a lot of stuff. And then my singles community of thousands, right, followed along on my journey of becoming a dating coach, so that when I was a dating coach, they were already ready to hire me. So it seems like, right, it was overnight, but it wasn't. Okay, so that's really important, because I think some people hear that and they're like, why isn't that happening for me so quickly? Guys, it happened for me in 3 months and 5 years. Okay, 3 months and 5 years. Do you guys see that? Now, I was able to turn it from a hobby into a business, right, the minute that I just decided that it was going to be a business, and I treated it like a business, right? The minute that I said I was all in on it. So I had been like date coaching on the side from 2012 to 2014. I was still working as an attorney full time, and I'm not telling you guys to quit your job. I'm not telling you to quit your job. But I decided to go all in, or I quit my job for story another day, and I've shared this story before, and went all in. And all in to me meant a few things. All in meant there was no going back. I didn't want to go backwards. I could only go forwards. All in meant I had decided this was going to work. I was 100% certain that this was going to work. All in meant I was willing to do whatever it took, no matter how long it took, no matter what it meant for my schedule, no matter what, to get the results that I wanted to get, right? So that was kind of what I did, right? But here's the thing. I built my business quickly, and then I became a business coach, as you guys know. But I had stalled. I had stalled at about the $5,000 a month income range of my business, where that was not the money that I wanted to be making, right? Like that, I was making more because I had like one-off sales and one-off things. So over the course of the year, I was making more, but my consistent monthly income was around $5,000 a month, right? So when people are like, well, what do you mean, Rita? Like surpassed your attorney salary in 3 months. I don't know how much you guys think attorneys are getting paid. Not that much, right? But I had to hit the 6-figure mark in my business. But the consistent money that I could bank on, right, was $5,000 a month. And I will tell you that was scary, because how many, like yes or no, you guys are being super quiet. How many of you know your profit margin? How many of you know that? Yes, no? How many know what your actual income is, right? How many of you know your numbers, right? when it sounds great to be making $5,000 a month consistent, and I don't mean your personal finance numbers, I mean your business numbers. They're not the same at all. So when I was pulling in 5,000 for my business, when I looked at expenses in my business, when I looked at putting aside taxes, when I looked at, what I was actually paying myself, right? There was a reason why it's like it was still a struggle for me to hit my personal expense goals, right? And pay off the things I wanted. So this is where the myth comes in the story. I was working with a coach, and my coach was like, "You need an assistant." And I said, I can't get an assistant. I can't do that. No, can't do it. And so I already had a coach. So if I back up, that was actually the first resource that I needed. So Jennifer's like, me, nope, yes, okay. Let me back up more. When I got my coach, that was the first time the story popped up. When I got my assistant was the second, okay? So I had stalled in my business. I had a coach. She was a good coach. She got me to about a $5,000 a month business. I needed a different kind of coach to take my business to a different kind of level. That required a much different investment than I had been making in a coach, okay? So full disclosure, my first coach was like $300 a month. This was a long time ago, guys. But my first business coach was like $300 a month. The business coach that I knew I needed, right, was $1,250 a month. That's a big jump, yes? Like even for people who are making consistent money, yes? Like that's a big jump. So I hesitated on hiring that new business coach, even though I knew that that business coach was the one who knew the online space, who knew about certain things with the business model that I wanted to have, that had expertise and information in an area that I did not, that was going to help me get to the next level. But here's the story I kept telling myself. And it was the same story I told myself around my assistant, which was, well, I need to make more money before I can hire that higher level coach. Hi, Deborah. How many of you have thought that with getting a business coach? I'm just curious. And if you're watching on replay, tell me that too. So, and then we'll get to the assistant, right? But how many of you have thought, well, yeah, there's a business coach I want to hire. I would love to have a business coach, or I would love to upgrade, right? Upgrade my business coach or go to a different level, a different kind of business coach. But I need to make more money to be able to afford that coach. How many of you have thought that? Yes? I mean, that's a normal thought. I'm telling you, that's what I thought, right? I was like, okay, back at the beginning of my business, I was paying $300 a month on a month-to-month basis for my business coach. And then I was hit with the reality that the coach I needed for that new level of my business was a 6-month commitment at a minimum of $1,250 a month, right, with a percentage that's also due. So a minimum of $1,250 a month, and that was only going to be part of the support that I really needed to get to the next business. But the thing was, I wasn't making any more money. The reason I needed the next coach, I needed a coach at the next level, was so I could make more money. So how many of you have felt trapped in that circle? Because I really definitely felt trapped in a circle with, okay, so I'm not making the money I want. And to make the money I want, I need this coach at this price and this level. And okay, but right, like I need to make more money in order to afford them, but also I'm not making more money, and therefore I need the coach. Are you guys seeing like the circle? So I was like, I'm all in on taking my business to the next level, but I wasn't really. I was not really all in on taking, and I'm not saying you have to hire a business coach to go all in. I'm using the two examples that came up the most from last week, business coach and assistant, and then we're even going to use a few other examples at the end, but I think they're the easiest for most people to grasp. Yes, like we either all want a business coach or somebody that is like a mentor in some capacity in our business at some time, right? And we all want a support. Yes, can we agree with that? So I think that these are two examples that are the best and the most universal. So that's where I was, right? So I was like, okay, I've reached this nice little level in my business, but it's not where I want to be, and I'm not getting the speaking opportunities I want. I'm not getting all the stuff I want because my coach didn't do all of that. That just wasn't her thing. She had gotten me where I needed to go with her. And so I was terrified. I was like, nope, and I didn't do it. I kept not doing it. I just pushed it off and pushed it off and pushed it off until one day I decided to do it, right? because I had let go of this story that I told myself. So I'm gonna tell you that. But like I was just curious, and I see Jennifer said the coach thing not so much, but with an assistant, right? So we're gonna talk about that too. So here's the thing, right? No matter what it is, I need blank before I can blank. I need more money before I can hire a business coach. I need more money before I can get an assistant. I need more time before I can do this project, right? Like that's another one, right? How many of you tell yourself that story? When it's like, okay, well, I don't have time for a coach right now. I don't have time to go all in on my business right now. So I'm gonna wait until I have more time. I've both told that story, and I hear that story quite often, right? With people like, okay, but it's just a really busy time in my business right now. This is the busy season, and I'm speaking all the time, or do I have a coach right now? I do have a coach. I do. And I talk about her all the time. Her name is Lacey, and she's great. And she's even more money than she was before. So I have been coaching with Lacey now. Oh my God, Lacey, are you out there? I've been coaching with Lacey now for 2 years, 2.5, right? She's been with me through huge, big jumps in my business. I don't believe that a coach always needs to have a coach, but I know that I need a coach to push me. I don't know how many of you feel the same. So people are like, oh, Rita, are you one of these people saying you just have to have a coach? No, I don't think you always have to have a coach. I don't think a coach always needs a coach. I know me, I know I need a coach right now. There are certain goals that I am, and so right now I'm part of a mastermind group. Like I was private coaching with my coach for a while, for years, and now I'm in a mastermind group with other women who are advancing the 7-figure mark in business, right? We're all like on a mission to hit that 7-figure mark because we've all reached a certain stage in our business. So we get the private coaching from our coach, but we also now come together and collaborate with each other. For example, Sarah Wiles, who is here this morning, right? She's somebody who's in my mastermind group. But okay, so right, that's where I was though. I was like, okay, so I'm making $5,000 a month consistently, and it was good, but it wasn't what I needed. And I knew that the only thing that I needed to do at that moment was like get a coach that could help me step in to all of the opportunities that I needed to step into. And I didn't have the money to afford her. And I'm never advocating for paying for something you can't afford. Like I think people know that. Like people who email me and say, Rita, I want you, but I can't afford you. Like I'm never that person. Hopefully people will vouch. I never write back, if you're not willing to make that investment, then you're not serious in your business. I like say, I get it. It's scary. Here are a few things you need to consider, right? Like you need to make sure it's the right fit for you. I don't think you should play it safe, but like also like I think that you need to consider this, right? Jennifer's like, I love how you push me. Oh, thank you. I love having you as a client. I love clients like you who allow me to push them. So I say this, right, because so this is coming up a lot, right? So back to my story. So I was sitting there though, and on paper, I did not have enough money to justify hiring the coach. Did not have enough money because I had law school loans. I had undergrad loans at the time that I've since paid off. I had just gotten married. I had a wedding I was paying off. I had business fees. I had debt still from my days as an attorney, right? All of this stuff I had. So yeah, I was making money, but like I had lived the life of a lawyer, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like I had some debts and I had really just gotten married and there were all these things. And so I knew I needed to get to that next level of business and I could not afford the coach I needed. And I let myself fall into the myth of I couldn't get the coach until I had the money to back that up. So again, I'm not advocating to make expenditures that you can't back up, okay? Like I'm not advocating that. But the reality was I was never going to do anything different, right, to push myself to reach the next level of income if I didn't have both feet across the line where I had no choice. I couldn't go backwards. Does that make sense? it was like I had enough for the first payment. I had enough for the first payment that I needed to make her, right? I remember it. I remember like writing that first $12.50 check, and I was just like, right? Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like what am I, like I'm not immune to that, right? At all. And so I wrote it, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen come like the second month, right? Like I was thinking that before. I actually was not thinking that when I wrote the check. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you it shifted. But up until I made the decision to hire her, I was stuck in that loop, right? Of I need more money before I can afford the coach that's gonna help me make more money. Do you guys see the problem in that thought process? Like she could help me make more money, but I needed to make more money before I could hire her. And I hear this a lot with people who call me, Rita, I watch your trainings. Rita, I think that you could absolutely help me grow my business. I just can't afford you yet. I need to save up. Like they'll hear my whole fee and think they need to have my whole fee on reserve and backed up to pay me, right? Guys, you just need the first payment. And I'm not saying that because I want you to do that, but this is why. This is the same breakthrough I had in the myth, right? What I realized was that story that I was telling myself that I needed to know that I could afford all 6 months of my coach before I paid for her was me saying I didn't trust myself. Do you guys see that? Like, here's what, it all relates to trust, right? And it was the same thing when I hit my assistant. Like, I didn't hit her. I didn't. When I when I hit a stage in my business where I needed an assistant, oh my God, that sounded terrible. It's like just like when I hit my assistant. When I hit a stage in my business where I needed an assistant, so it was around that same plateau. One of the first things, so once I got off that story, and I'll tell you how in a minute. So I was sitting there in fear saying, I need this coach, but she's this much money, and oh my God, I don't have that much money. So I need to get that much money before I can have the coach of that much money. But also the reason I need the coach is to make more money. So I was stuck over there. Well, once I got out of that circle and I hired the coach, the first thing she said was, cool, you need a new assistant. Because I had an assistant, but it was like very basic. We're talking like old school secretary type support, a few things here or there, right? She was like, Rita, you are at a level now. You need to be practicing what you preach. You should be doing the things only you can do and outsource the rest, right? I had gotten very good at outsourcing my personal life. So I got very comfortable with getting my groceries delivered from Peapod, and I got comfortable with having somebody come mow the lawn, and I got comfortable with maids coming over and cleaning the house, but I had not gotten comfortable with outsourcing my business life, right? With outsourcing more high-end work and with outsourcing like more of it, right? I felt like I still needed to be the one to write my blog, in terms of like getting it up. I was the one that needed to format my newsletters. I was the one, and when I dug into it with her, it was kind of like, well, wait a minute, why do I keep feeling like this? Is it perfectionism? Is it control? It wasn't, it was scarcity. I was like, I can't pay more hours. I can't, now I'm paying you, coach lady, and also now you want me to get an assistant that I'm going to have to pay, right? So like now I'm paying you and you want me to outsource 10 extra hours of work a week to somebody else? Like, what? How many of you have felt like that before, right? How many of you have felt like that before? That's where I was. So I got out of the circle I was talking about to hire the coach. And then the first thing she said is, cool, you have somebody that's been like at $8 an hour for like basic kind of like college, high school level type tasks for like 5 hours a week. Yeah, you need like 10 hours a week of like a real VA at a VA rate, which is what we talked about earlier this morning, right? In addition to also still dealing with like the fact that I made that investment in this coach, right? Arena says, I'm glad you clarified that it's not perfectionism or controlled scarcity. Yeah, for me it was, right? For a lot of people it is. It's kind of like, okay, so it's like the perfectionism was the story I was telling myself so that I didn't have to look over at the scarcity. Does that make sense? Whenever it came to my assistant, the story I played in my head was, well, I'm the only one that can do this, right? I'm the only one that can format. It'll be quicker for me to do all of this stuff than train somebody else how to do it, right? It'll be quicker for me to do it. Oh, but I know how to do it. So I should just do it, because then I know it gets done right. And then I know that it'll get done on time. And then because I once had this really bad experience with an assistant before, right? So Deborah's like, no, me could have been a lot better. That's why it's a struggle for me, right? Sounds familiar. So that was all of that. Those were just fake stories. Those were lies I was telling myself. And by focusing on lies, like, I'm the only one that can make a graphic this good, and it's quicker for me to format my newsletter, and at least then I know it'll get done on time, and blah, 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 and it'll just be faster and quicker, and at least I'll know, and I don't have time to train, or whatever it is, right? All of that just kept me from having to look at the real thing. So if you ever went to the reset retreat, which has only happened once, but some of you did, right? I said, it's the thing under the thing under the thing. We think it's a thing, but you got to keep digging to find the thing under the thing, and that's not always easy, right? My thing under the thing there was scarcity. I wasn't a perfectionist, not then. I didn't really need to control. I didn't really care if my formatting was done by me or somebody else, right? I had plenty of time. I could have allocated time to train somebody, right? All of those were convenient excuses to keep me from having to admit that I was scared that I wouldn't have the money to pay for the assistant. Because, right, what I really believed was I wouldn't make more money. I really had this big, deeper belief that where I was in my business was where I was always going to be, that I did not have the ability to break through $5,000 a month and get anywhere higher. That's what I really thought, right? That was the deeper thing. The deeper thing was there were a lot of money issues, a lot of money mindsets, a lot of like stories, right? Around, okay, I'm not going to be able to make more money. This is it, right? Or I can't. So I don't know what level you're at your business, but you're probably, some of you are probably telling yourself subconsciously that same story, right? Which is like, and you don't even realize it, but you don't actually believe that you can be successful, right? Like you're like, no, no one's ever going to pay my higher rates, right? So instead, you're not raising your rates, right? So again, before I raise my rates, I can't raise my rates until I can say this. I need this experience before I can raise my rates. I need to have had this many clients before I can raise my rates. I need to have had this thing happen before I can raise my rates, right? I need to have this experience, this situation before I can raise my rates. All of that just tends to be a big old lie. You don't need that situation or that experience or any of that, right? You're focused on that because it keeps you from looking at the real thing under the thing. And the thing under the thing is, I don't think people are going to pay my higher rates because I don't actually think I'm worth it, and I don't think that I can deliver at that higher rate, and I don't think people are going to do it, and I think that if people do pay it, I'm going to feel like I'm not doing a good enough job to live up to that rate. And so to have to deal with all that, to deal with the worthiness and to deal with like the value that I think I bring to the table and how good I am, I am at something, like I'm just going to tell these stories about why I'm not raising my rates, right? I'm not raising my rates because of all this other stuff, right? Like, well, I don't have enough clients yet, and I haven't had enough experience, and I need this training, and I need to have hit this milestone in my business, and none of that is real. Do you guys see that? Like, the real thing is, I actually don't think people are going to pay it. I think I'll lose clients. I don't think my business will succeed. I don't think I'll be able to back it up, and therefore my business is going to go under, and it's going to fail, and blah, blah, blah. So now I'm just going to keep my rates the same. But I'm going to, like, focus on all these other excuses that aren't the real excuse, right? You guys get that? Yes, no, understanding that? I think that's important to understand. And that was a mindset that I had around my assistant, right? Which was like, I was like focused on all of the, I don't have time to train a new assistant. I'm so busy, right? I'm so busy with everything that I had to do. I don't have time to train an assistant. And also like, I can do it quicker. And these are silly tasks to outsource to someone, and I shouldn't have to pay someone X dollars, right, for that. Like, those were all the things that like I was focused on, right, with like, well, it's just going to be difficult because they're not going to understand me and my business model, and I don't have time for the application process, I don't have time for interviews, I don't, whatever, right? So I was focused on all that, but the thing under the thing, the real thing was, I am terrified, right, that I'm not actually going to be able to make the money to afford my assistant because I don't think my business is actually going to grow, because I don't trust myself to do the things I need to do to make it grow, and I don't trust that it's valuable, and I don't trust me, I don't trust my business, I don't trust the future, that was the real thing, right? And that was the same thing that kept me from hiring my coach, the higher level coach. Was I in my head, subconsciously, I didn't even know it, I believed I was like a $5,000 a month business owner, right? That I couldn't make more money than that. And so, right, like it was silly to try to go get a coach that was going to help me make all of this money, because I couldn't do that. I've never really shared this story with anybody before. I've never shared, like, I actually feel like I'm going to tear up a little bit. Arena's like a great reminder about the thing under the thing and the stories we tell ourselves. Absolutely, right? Like, I feel like I'm going to, just remembering it, like, I feel like I might cry on this video a little bit. I did not like have a script for this, so you'll just have to bear with me, right? But I remember that, Rita, like, that was the thing. I was saying I couldn't have the higher level coach. I was saying I couldn't have the assistant because because of all these other things. It wasn't the right time of year. I needed to get my ducks in a row. I had too many clients and I needed to like get to a place where I had a break, or where it wasn't the holidays, or where I wasn't going to be traveling to speak, or where whatever, before I could get this higher level. I needed to reach a new income level in my business before I could hire this coach. I needed to hit a certain milestone before I could have this assistant. I needed more time. I needed my calendar to be different before I could have all of this stuff. Hi, Maggie. And none of that was true. That was all the distraction from the real thing. And the real thing was, I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I should have any of this. I don't believe in my ability to get it. I think people are going to reject me. I think it's not going to work. I think this is all going to fall apart tomorrow. I feel like an imposter. Like, who am I kidding? Like, no one's going to pay me money, like any more money. Like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle. It's not going to happen, right? Like, that was the real stuff. Do you guys see that? It was like it was rooted in, I'm going to cry. Like, it was rooted in scarcity. I'm not going to cry. Because it's not true, right? It's not true anymore. It wasn't, so, but it was rooted in scarcity. So when you're saying, look, I can't hire a coach, right? And I'm like, if you guys have ever thought, because some of you have, Rita, I want to hire you. I know you can help me grow my business, but I can't afford you. So I need to get more money before I can hire you. What you're saying is, Rita, like, I don't trust in my ability to make more money. Right? I don't trust in my ability to make more money, because if I really, here's the thing, right? So we're going to do this with coach, and then we're going to talk about assistant, or whatever it is that you want to buy, right? Like a coach or a program or whatever. If you believed that that thing could bring you results, so if you knew that that coach or that training or that whatever would give you the information you need to have new results in your life or your business, if you knew that 100%, and if you knew that you would show up and do the action to get the results, right, that you would do the stuff and get the results 100%, it's a no-brainer to get that. Yes? Is that a true statement? If you knew, let's use me as an example, 100% coaching with Rita is going to give me the results that I want in my business. I know it. I know that what Rita will do, and the advice and the feedback and the support, that's going to get me to a new level in my business, 100%. And also, if you trusted in yourself 100% to do the work, to show up and be consistent and do the things, you were like 100%, I'm going to do it. I know it, 100%. Then it's a no-brainer, because you know by making that first payment, you're going to show up and do what you need to do to make it work out. Right now, I'm not saying that you would be guaranteed, right, that you would make enough money in a month with a coach or from a program to like make that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? When you doubt in the actual content, if you're like, I don't know that that coach actually is going to get me the information I need to get to the next level, or you're like, I don't know that that program is actually going to be the thing that I need to do in my business. Like, if you're unsure of the value of the thing, then yeah, you're going to hesitate on purchasing it. If you're 100% sure in the value of the thing, but you're thinking in your mind, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to raise my rates, and I don't think I'm going to network more, and I don't think I want to get on video, and I don't think I'm going to do some of this scary stuff that she's going to tell me to do, or that it's going to have me do, and I just don't think I'm going to show up for that, right? If subconsciously you're thinking that, then you're going to be like, I can't do this thing. I can't buy this program. I can't hire this assistant. I can't hire this coach, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like that, but you're not going to you're not going to admit that. Instead, you're going to look at all of these other reasons to be the reasons why you can't have the coach, or why you can't have the assistant, or why you can't buy the program. Does that make sense? Yes? Like, are we understanding this? Yes, no? So the myth is, right, that you have to let go of that story of not trusting yourself. That's the myth is, I don't have the resources. I don't have the money or the time to hire this coach, to buy this program, to get this assistant, right? I need more ducks in a row. I need more money. I need to be better in business. I need to reach this other milestone. I need for the kids to be in school. I need to not be on vacation. I need to be traveling. I need to have a different routine. I need to have. All of that is just a distraction from you looking at the real thing, right? Which is, I don't trust myself. Let's assume you trust the person. You trust the assistant. You trust the coach, right? You trust me. You trust whatever. We're going to take that you trust, that will do what it's supposed to do for you. So then all it is you don't trust yourself to show up and recoup on that investment. You don't trust yourself to show up 100% and really do what it's going to take to do to get the results, right? Like, and that's a lack of trust in you. So you have to let it go, right? If you really trusted in yourself, then you'd be like, okay, like, I'm going to make this work out for me, which is what I did with my coach, right? I knew once I signed on with my coach for that $12.50 a month payment back then, oh my gosh, right? Like, it was hard. I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying that I just did it with gratitude and was like, oh, yay, paying all this money to this person. No, I was freaked out. I was freaked the F out. I'm going to be honest, right? I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Terrifying. Same with my assistant, right? And guys, the new assistant, I just talked about this at our 10 o'clock video or 11 o'clock video. My new assistant is double the price of what my current assistant is. Double. That's a whole new ball game. I need her for more hours, and she's like double because she's doing all of these things that my other assistant didn't do for me, because I know that that's what I need for the next level of my business. So I need something else. So here again is another thing where my mind defaulted to, okay, I need this new assistant, and I need her to do these things that I haven't had an assistant do before, and that means I'm going to pay her more. And technically on paper, I don't know that I have the income to back that up, right? But I stopped and I said, it's ridiculous. By hiring her, I'm going to get the income. By her doing all of these things to get me speaking and to do all of this, how can I not, right? Because I trust in me. I trust in what I do. I trust in all of this. I'm going to take advantage of all these opportunities. The time I free up, right, by having an assistant, 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours a week, right? That time, if I pour it into getting clients, revenue generating activities, things that only a CEO can do, how can I not make back more than I'm paying her, right? Because I trust myself. If I didn't trust myself, I wouldn't actually think that I'd spend that free time getting clients, right? If I didn't think I'd get clients, if I don't believe that people are going to pay me, if I don't believe that what I do is good or valuable, right, then I'm going to think, oh my gosh, I can't do that, right? Because somewhere inside, it's like, I'm not thinking that I'm going to take that freed up time and go land a client or a big opportunity. I think I'm not, right? Do you guys understand that? Deborah says, I thought that for my bookkeeper, right? And hiring a VA, right? Absolutely. So do you guys see that? Like, but if you trust yourself, then it's scary. I'm not saying it doesn't feel scary, right? But you'll go, okay, I'm making that hire. I'm making that hire because, right, I'm going to take that freed up time that I've delegated, that 40 hours I'm giving to this person for the month, and I'm going to go take that 40 hours and only do revenue generating activities. Only do work to get a client, right? Because the number of clients that I can sign in 40 hours is going to more than exceed the costs that I'm paying out to this assistant. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing for a coach. It's like, yeah, I'm not technically freeing up time the same way I am with an assistant with a coach, but I am being more efficient. And I'm doing bigger, bolder things, right? My rates raised when I got that new coach. My packages changed when I got that new coach. And not just to raise rates or to have a new package, but because it was the right thing to do. I had just been scared to do it. I was actually not giving the best support to my clients under my old model, right? But I was too scared to do what I needed to do to give them the best support, right? Because of that scarcity mindset. I hope you guys understand. And getting them. So the myth, the story you have to let go of is that you need certain resources before you can get the resource you need to get the results you want. So it's like, again, I want more money, so I need a coach that can help me make more money. But before I can hire that coach, I need to make more money, so I get the coach. What? Doesn't make any sense, right? No, I want more money, and here's a coach who can make me more money, so I'm going to hire the coach, and then I'm going to do the things I need to do to make more money to continue to pay for the coach, right? Or with the assistant, it's like, okay, like before I can have an assistant, I need to make more money, but I'm too busy and my time is too maxed out to do anything else to make more money. So I need an assistant, but I can't get an assistant until I make more money, but I can't make more money until I get an assistant, right? See the loop? You've got to stop telling yourself that you need resources before you can do something that will bring you resources. Yes? Are we good with that? Instead, right, you have to say that I don't need things in place, that I trust myself to put into place what I need. Okay, so if this is you, if trust is your problem and you're telling yourself the story, the first thing, so people are always like, well, what's the best use? And if I'm going to make an investment, what's the best investment in my business? If you are having trouble making an investment, because any of this sounded true, right? Any of this around trusting yourself to show up for yourself, trusting yourself to be able to do the things, believing in the value of your business, trusting your business, trusting all of it, right? If any of that sounded like you need to get a business coach first. And you need to get a business coach that deals with mindset as well as business strategy. I would hope it would be me. It can be whoever's a good fit for you, but I would do that before an assistant. You must get the coach to help you rewrite and let go of the story, right? Because otherwise you will find out hard to invest in anything else in your business that will produce results. The assistant, a vendor table at an event that could change the course of your business, a publicist who will pitch you to the media and get you on the news that will change the course of your business, a podcast editor who can help you get like your podcast to the next level. Like, you will have trouble investing in the opportunities and the things that will get you to the level you want to be at if you hold on to this story that you have to reach that level before getting the thing that will get you to that level. Being an entrepreneur means taking risks, and one of the risks is a financial investment in things, in software, in people, in assistance. It means you reach a stage of your business where you cannot go to the next level without making that scary investment before you see results, before the results are there, right? That's why they say entrepreneurship is risky. That's why they say it's scary. You have to invest before you see the return on that investment for whatever these things are, right? So if you have that story, if that's a problem, then talk to me, right? Get on the phone with me. Let's see what we can do, right? To get you the support you need to let go of that story, because that's the only way you're going to be investing in all of these other things, okay? Then get an assistant. Right? After you have the coach who's going to help you be efficient, let go of that story and then be efficient with what you're doing in your business, take the bolder, scarier actions, right? Really tighten up your strategy, execute on it, then go get an assistant who's going to help you free up even more of your time to go get more clients under that new model and do more things. Does that make sense? So that myth is I need to have certain things in place, right? It's a story you have to let go of. What makes it so? I share. How many of you saw the story, for me to like wrap this up? Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Camille. Hi, Barbs. How many of you saw the story that I shared the other day about buying a new car in the Facebook group? Yes or no? Just type yes or no. And if you're watching on replay, type yes or no. But how many of you saw this story about a car? Right? I hesitated about putting that story up, but the lessons were too important. It wasn't about the car. And technically to people, it's not even a fancy car. It's a car I love, and I'm never going to drive any other car other than the Hyundai Elantra, probably as long as I live, okay? Because being short and being curvy, there's certain cars that just, I don't have to push myself all the way up into the steering wheel, or if I'm pushed back enough, like I can reach the pedal. Hyundai Elantra is where it's at for me, just telling you. But for those of you who missed the story about my car, so you guys all saw it, okay. So for those of you watching on replay or who didn't say yes, real quickly, right? It was a trajectory, right? I went in to get a car a while ago, back when I first started my business, and I couldn't because I didn't have enough income, right? An income history. And I had to buy a car I didn't like because I needed a car and whatever, right? Then I went in, a couple of years later, 2 years later, I think it was, to get a new car because that used car I bought had it. And I had to fight with the finance people because they were like, you've got a business, but we don't really believe in your business, right? Like we're not really believing in it. And so so again, I didn't get the exact car I wanted. I got a good car, but it wasn't the one I wanted. And it was a fight. There were tears. It was bad. But I got a car, right? That after a lot of paperwork and a lot of proof that they let me drive out of the lot with, right? But because I didn't love that car, I leased it for 3 years because I was like, no, I'm not having this car forever, right? So my lease was up. So I went to the dealership the other day and I actually love that car, just not that version of the car. And I wanted the new model. I wanted the 2020 and I wanted the top of the line of that make and model. And I was scared to death because that meant a $120 a month more car payment. You know, it meant, and I just hired, okay, so here's the trajectory. So I just entered that mastermind group that has the highest amount that I've ever paid my coach, followed by hiring the assistant that costs more than any assistant I've ever made, right? Followed by some investments in our personal life over here as well, followed by another big business investment with getting publicity and getting PR. And then I went in for the car and I was like, I'm gonna get this car. Technically on paper, yeah. Do I have the payment? Sure. Was it feeling good? Not when I looked at it, right? But in that moment, I was like, wait a minute. It's the same thing, right? So I don't know how many of you are religious. You don't have to be to follow me. I am, but I openly share that I'm religious. And I truly believe that the devil, right, or the enemy, whatever you want to call it, that the enemy just comes at you with the same thing in different disguises. So like what your thing is will always be your thing. So this thing will always be my thing. And it popped up again with a car, which is like, wait, but maybe I need to get a client or two more. Maybe I really need to hit my fully booked with a waiting list before I let myself step into this nicer car. So maybe I just need to get the car I had because it was a good enough car, right? And I was like, wait, whoa. It wasn't about the car. That's what I want you guys to see. It wasn't about the fancy car. What it was about was me telling myself I actually didn't trust myself to get the clients, to get fully booked with a waiting list, like by me saying I didn't, right? So like I was like, not again, no, not again. It's over, it's done. Like I'm getting this car because I trusted myself, right? And so here are the steps, right? I knew that my success is inevitable. I am a 7-figure business owner. It is happening as we speak, right? It is total. And so we shared this in one of our trainings the other week. It is completely and totally inevitable that I make 7 figures in my business, right? It's happening as we speak. It's been decided. It's happening as we speak. I don't know how and I don't know when, but I am 100% certain of it, right? What makes success, when people are like, what's the formula for success? What makes success, Rita? It's the knowing plus the anticipation of what you know. Does that make sense? It's the knowing, and then it's the anticipation that comes with knowing that makes success. Do you guys understand that statement? Yes? No? I'll say it one more time. It's the knowing, and it's the anticipation of that knowing that makes success, right? If you know 100%, Holly Shan, I'm going to use you since you gave the only example before. If you knew 100%, Holly Shan, that you are going to be fully booked with a waiting list, that is completely and totally inevitable, and it is happening as you speak, right? Then that anticipation drives you to reach that point because you know it. You don't doubt it. There's not a doubt in your mind, right? There is not a doubt in your mind. If you fully know it, fully believe it, fully have decided it to be true, right? When you are in full knowledge, right? You can't help but be excited for it and anticipate it. You really want it and you want it right now and you don't want to wait. Like if I told you that I was going to give you, let's say you want a puppy, and I'm like, you're getting a puppy tomorrow. Like I'm bringing a puppy to your house. So you know it, you know you're getting a puppy and you're anticipating getting the puppy. Like you want that puppy there now, right? If you wanted a puppy. Right? So you want a puppy, you now know 100% I'm bringing a puppy to your house. You're going to anticipate that puppy and you're going to want to be putting things in place for the puppy, right? Because you're so excited and you wish that puppy would show up right now. Do you guys get that? The knowing plus the anticipation. Right? If you know, Holly Shan, you're going to be fully booked with a waiting list, and you know that 100% to be true, you're going to want it, and you're going to want it now, and you're going to want to step into it as quickly as you can, right? So you're going to be doing all the things to bring that about quicker. It's when you don't know, when you don't believe, when you haven't decided, right? When you don't fully trust it, when you have doubt, you're not going to be doing those things because you don't have that certainty, right? It's knowing in the ultimate success, but you don't have to know when or how. And I think that's a big holdup for people. I don't have to know when I'm going to be fully booked with a waiting list, right? Holly, I'm talking as you. I don't have to know when I'm going to be fully booked with a waiting list. But I know it's going to happen. So I need to show up and do the things to make it happen and prepare for it as if it's true. I need to have my schedule carved out. This is what we talked about the other day. I need to have my schedule carved out as if, right, I'm already like fully booked, and have those client spots carved out and have them set up in my coaching portal as new client 1, new client 2, new client 3. I need to be living my day as if that's true. I need to be making decisions as if that's true. Right? You're gonna want to do that because you're anticipating it. You taste it so badly, you want it because you're 100% certain that it's coming, right? So anticipate, the knowing plus anticipation is what creates success. But you have to know, right? So here's why I shared the car story with you. Right? Because I was doubting myself for a hot second again, because I'm at another level of my business. I'm about to break through to it. I'm in a mastermind group for people to hit 7 figures. Like, I am at a new level of my business, right? Like, when this year closes, I will have reached more milestones in my business than any other year, right? It's scary. It's terrifying because your mind wants to play all these monkey brain, whatever games about it all going away. And it's all because my thing is scarcity. I already shared that. My thing under the thing is that people leave, right? People leave, money leaves, things leave. That's always going to be my thing, right? My dad left, like, people left, you know, like client, like, people are gonna leave. That's always my thing, right? It's just, I don't have to fix it. Instead, I just had to acknowledge that it's always gonna be my thing, right? That I'm always gonna come back to that fear, which is what I came back to with the car. Oh my gosh, but if I sign on for this high car payment, what if all my clients leave? What if I don't fill my next rounds of my mastermind group? What if I don't get the private clients to be fully booked? What if clients don't renew? What if, and like, the reality of that, when I look at the evidence, is none of that is true. Most of my clients have been with me for 3 or 4 years, right? Most of the people in the mastermind group have come back round after round. In fact, I have one entire group that said they're all coming back. I already know. I already knew sitting in the lot that one of my mastermind groups, they're all returning, right? But there I was. My brain was not looking at that evidence. My brain was looking at the wrong evidence. My brain was like, but what if it all goes away, Rita, and then you're on the hook for this higher car payment, right? Of course it's not going to all go away because I believe in myself. I believe in myself to make that investment work out. I don't know how, and I don't know when, right? But I know in my success. I don't know how I'm going to be a 7-figure business owner or when. I know it's true. So I know that, right? There's the knowing and the anticipation. So I believe 100%. But then the second piece was I trusted myself. Right? I'm like, okay, so I sign on for this high car payment. What if a client leaves? What if a mastermind group doesn't come back? What if a client doesn't renew? What if one of the people who are going to take one of my spots says no? What if? Well, then I had a list of a million things that I do. Well, then I'd make this offer, and then I do this thing, and I have a plan for a cash infusion. I could always go back and work part-time at Container Store, right? Like, when I really let myself just like brainstorm, I'm like, I have plenty of things that I can do. Oh, I could cut out that software package. I could sell this thing. I could whatever, right? And I'll tell you what, just that thought process of proving to myself that I could navigate whatever happens, right? Help me find that extra $120 for that car payment. Because I found when I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute, I have this software system. It's a $75 a month software system. I don't want to talk about it because it's disparaging it. It's a terrible software system. It's horrible. And I pay $75 a month for it because I have data on there and I'm too lazy to pull the data off. Well, now I've got a great assistant. So guess what? Like, I have I do great assistants right now because my current one is still here and the one that's coming in is coming. Right? I'm like, okay, I just need to pull the data off. There's $75 a month. There's another organization that I'm in that I love. I never get to anything. It's like another 30. right? Dollars a month right there. There's 105. And then I found like another expenditure for something that I don't use. I came up with the money in my head. I was like, oh, right there is the extra car payment, right? The extra money for the car payment, because I let myself have the conversation with myself. Do you guys understand that? Arena's like, thank you for sharing all that personal stuff about your journey. Yeah, well, I think it is important. I think it's really important for me to tell you guys that I've been there, right? I've been through all of it. So do you guys, I forgot what I was just talking about before that. I was talking about the car, oh, the navigating whatever happened, right? Once I let myself brainstorm, so what if the worst case? I didn't want to focus on it too long, but what if those things happen? Because I trust myself enough to show up and get the results. I trust myself to go get fully booked with a waiting list. I trust myself to get the speaking engagements I want. I trust myself, but also I trust myself to navigate whatever happens, right? If the results don't come as quickly as I want, I trust myself to navigate it. If the results don't come at all, I trust myself to navigate it. So I had to show myself the evidence of what I could do to trust myself. And it's like, oh yeah, to back this up, there are all these things that I could do, right? I trust myself to make this work out regardless of what happens. So I trust myself to show up and do the things, but I also trust myself to be able to handle whatever happens whenever it happens, right? And because of that, because I believed in my ultimate success, because I decide, right, I believe in it, I decided that it's gonna happen, and I trust myself to do everything to make it happen, and I trust myself to navigate whatever results, right, when they happen, as they happen, right, then that allowed me to take action, to do the thing, to back that belief with action. And my action in the car story was to lease the new car, right? In my assistant story, right, it's the same thing. It was like, wait a minute, of course my success is inevitable. Like, of course it's gonna happen. And I trust myself to do everything I need to do with my freed up time from this new assistant to go grow my business. And also, even if the results don't come in as quickly as I want or how I want or when I want, I trust myself to make that investment in that assistant work out. I have a million ways that I can generate revenue and income. And I have a million things that I could do. It might not be ultimately what I want to do forever and ever, but I can go do it, right? Okay, cool. So I trust myself, and I trust my ability to navigate whatever happens. And I believe in my success, and I know it's inevitable. So I'm going to back it with action, and I'm going to hire her, and I did. Right? And guess what, guys? I'm one client away from being fully booked for the waiting list, right? Which is more than enough. But now I'm going to have all this freed up time to be able to go get these speaking engagements that I really want. I was on the news, right? Because I invested in a PR person. Again, that was another scary investment, but invested in a PR person, and then bam, right? Like, now I'm going to have more news opportunities. Do you guys see that? Like, backed it with action. And with the car, I was rewarded as well. I always believe that life rewards action, and it rewards it in the equivalent of the action you take. And so for me, the minute that I decided, yep, let's do it, I'm getting that car, the sales guy came back, he said, how much do you love me? I was like, oh, uh-oh, right? And he was like, because you're a loyal customer, we were able to do some things, right? Number one, we're taking care of your first car payment for you. We're paying it. Like, that's part of a concession. We're going to do that. Even though I'd already said, okay, like, he didn't need to give me anything else. I was going to sign on the dotted line, right? He was like, then also, right, we are able to give you another incentive that actually brings the price of this model, this version of the model down to the one you had. Right? And I was like, okay. And there were like two more things. Oh, then the owner of the dealership was talking on the phone with his wife, and he heard my company name, and he said something like, oh, isn't this a funny company name? And she was like, Rita made me do it. She was on the news the other day. And he was like, were you on the news the other day? I was like, I was. He's like, my wife saw you on the news. And he was like, I tell you what, like, let's just push her through. She doesn't have to fight us and show us all this paperwork for her business. My wife knows her business. She was on the news. Like, she had this other car for a couple of years. Like, she's good. So then I had the ease of getting the car, right? Life rewards action, right? So if I had just believed in my success and believed that it would work out and believed that I trust myself and all of that, but not backed it with action, it wouldn't have been rewarded, right? The action was signing on the dotted line for the car, and then it was rewarded in all of those ways, the concessions and everything. But then I did find, it ended up not being $100 a month more in my car payment, but I had found it in my head before I even, right? Do you guys see that? Are you understanding that? Yes, no? So it was the same thing with my assistant, right? Same thing with my assistant. I hired her, and then bam, right? I got on the news, and now I'm eligible for like some really big speaking opportunities. And then I got my lunch with Christina, who gave me some more ideas and said, I'm going to introduce you to this person. Here's the rate you should be at for speaking, and I want to like help you get these speaking engagements at this level. I mean, guys, right? I made a decision that was scary on paper to hire my assistant, and then boom. And all of it started when I made that big decision to hire my coach, right? At the highest level I ever had. Because what I did by making that decision was tell myself, I trust myself. I trust me. I trust my business, right? I trust what I'm doing. I trust what I'm doing is valuable. I trust in my ability to do it. I trust my ability to be uncomfortable and to take action that I don't like to get the results that I want. I don't mean like action against your morals and your values, but you know what I mean? Action that makes you uncomfortable. Like, and I trust myself to do whatever it takes to make this investment work out. But I knew without a doubt that without hiring the coach, I couldn't get to the next level. And then I knew without a doubt, without hiring this assistant, I couldn't get to the next level, right? I had a full client load. I wasn't, you know, I needed to get to a new level in my business. And I needed more speaking opportunities, but because of my full client load and because of like, I didn't have the ability to get the speaking opportunities I needed to get because I had a full client, like I needed the assistant, right? I knew at each of these things, I could not get to the next level without making that investment first. Okay, so that's the myth. If it's like, I have to have my ducks in a row before I can, I have to have this situation to be true before I can, I need these resources before I can, you have to let that story go or you're never gonna be able to go all in on your business because you always technically have a foot or a hand or both, right? A foot and a hand and an arm and a leg out the door because what you don't realize is by saying I need all my ducks in a row, I just need, what it really is saying is I don't believe in my ability, right? I don't believe in my ability to make this work out. I don't believe in my ability to show up and do the things. I don't believe, and I'm going to distract myself from that with all of these other things, right? So if you're just logging on, I would go listen to that, right? And that's why you can never go all in if you don't start letting go of that story. And the only way to really let go of that story is to do the mindset work, the right mindset work around it, and back it with action, right? Which is why I've created the All In Intensive. So I really am only now one client away from being fully booked with a waiting list for 2020 for private coaching. And I've got 2 people I had calls with and 2 I'm having calls with today, right? So when I saw that that was happening, I was like, that's the only way to work with me. And there were a lot of you who are messaging me saying, Rita, I need more clarity on how to go in, all in. Rita, I think some of these blocks are blocks I have. Rita, I need some help. But I don't have the space for more private clients for 6 months coaching, right? Well, I do. I have 1 spot, right? So I don't know, just saying, if you want to get on the phone with me, you can. But I was like, so what am I going to do for these people that want to work with me? And I want to work with you. And I'm so excited about this all in and changing the name of the group and me going all in on you and you wanting to go all in on you and all of that. I created the All In Intensive. It's a 90-minute intensive, right? For us to work on this kind of stuff, to let go of blocks, to get clarity, to figure out what you really need to focus on and do so that you can be all in and go all in to get the kind of results that happen to match that, right? And so that's what we're going to do over the 90 minutes. Now, I don't have unlimited space in my calendar to have tons of these, so I'm only leaving it available for purchase through August 11th, which is what, Sunday, right? So at the end of Sunday, it goes away. I've had some people purchase. I've already had people do it. I'm about to share their testimonials, right? Some of the results from having the 90-minute intensive. Guys, it can be life-changing if you let it, right? If you show up and do it, right? If you trust yourself and you do the work and you're gonna. So if you're like, I really want to go all in, I don't know how to go all in, right? Like, I really want to do it. And this is the time where you can be like, I trust myself, right? It's a lower investment than private coaching, which can be helpful, but that's not the point, right? The point is, okay, like, I trust myself to make that investment and then do the things, right, to let go of this story so that I can keep doing things that will allow me to grow my business. So I'm going to put the link to the intensive in here. Do it, guys. I mean, really, Sunday goes away. And I really will be fully booked with a waiting list, which I will be sharing a story about next week about how I did it, right? Once it happened, because people are like, how did you do that? How did you set that intention and make it happen? I will share it once I've done it. I will never talk about something until it's real, right? So I'm not sharing that until I've done it. But, okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. So guys, get that intensive, right? Just do it. I'm so excited to help you. Like, I'm so excited to help you say, okay, this is the one thing that will move my business forward the most, that I want to go all in on. This is the vision, and this is the one thing that will get me there. And I'm ready to do these actions and I want to be efficient with the best action every day. So Rita, help me create the plan, and also help me with the mindset to bust through some of these myths, and what should I be doing so I don't get in my own way? What support do I need so I don't continue to get in my own way? Or so when I get in my own way, somebody can get me out of my way, right? All of that. How many of you are thinking you want to do it? How many of you want to go all in? Like, share it. Like, let me know if you have questions. If you don't know if this is the right fit for you, message, ask, right? Be responsible for the results that you're going to get, but let this myth go. This number one myth, let it go. And instead say, I believe in myself. I trust myself to do the hard things. I also trust myself to figure it out and to do the things I need to do to navigate whatever happens. I've decided this is real, right? And I know it. I'm in the knowing and I'm anticipating it. And so I need to make decisions as if it's already happened, right? That's what I was sharing about, like, with my Millionaire Day, right? With that CEO Day. It's like, I'm 100% certain that I'm going to be the CEO of a 7-figure business. Cool, right? I 100% know it. Don't know when, don't know how. But the anticipation is crazy, right? I can't wait. So it made me want to step into it and experience it, right? So I had lunch with Christina and I was on the news and all of this stuff happened. And guess what? I don't want to go back now. The anticipation is only heightened. So I'm pushing myself more and I'm being bolder and I'm showing up in ways that I've never shown up. In fact, next week, there's going to be a video about the one thing that had been separating me from somebody who makes $50,000 a month in their business. So separating me from somebody who makes $50,000. I know what it is now, 100%. I'm going to share that with you next week. But, right, I'm showing up bigger than before. I changed the name of the group to match it. Like, I've taken bold actions. I've done things, right, because, right, I stepped into what my life would be like. And because I knew I'm 100% in the knowing, here it is. I anticipate it. I want it now. I want a taste of it now. I got a taste of it now. I can never go back, right? I only want more. So now I'm doing bigger, bolder, riskier things. I'm making the same choices that I just told you to make. I'm putting, what is it, the cart before the horse? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Putting the cart before the horse. Did I get that right? Put the horse before the cart? No, put the cart before the, I don't know. Maybe it's not a good thing, but you see what I'm saying, right? Like, I decided that I believe in myself. I'm going to make the investments I want to make in my business to get the results that I want. I'm making decisions from what's in the best interest of my business and not from a place of fear. And for me, that looked like the new assistant that has skills that I needed, right? It looked like a publicist to get me on the news. It looks like a book coach. I got a book coach to help me write my book. Like, I just went ahead and I made all the investments that I needed to make because that's what's going to get me to the next level. And I trust myself, and I trust myself to navigate whatever happens, okay? That's what I want for you. Cart before the horse is not a good thing. So don't do that, Holly Shan says. Don't do that, right? Let's, though, put belief in yourself before doubt in yourself. Let's put what's in the best decision of your business before fear, right? Let's go ahead and put in place what you need to get the support that you need and want, right? So that you're able then to have the time and the space to do the things to back that up and get more of it, okay? If you have questions about the 90-minute intensive, please let me know, right? This is a different, so as you know, I had some intensives that I sold as part of my birthday celebration. These are a little different, right? This is the all-in intensive, 90 minutes. It's big. It's a big intensive, guys, but it's for you to go all in. Right, for you to go on. So anyway, I'm about to go and go all in again every Monday, right? Because 7-figure CEO Rita has CEO time every week. And I'm going to go do my big level planning, my top view down planning. I'm going to be figuring out some things with the new assistant and putting some things in place for some of these bigger things in my business. And I'm going to go do it from an undisclosed location that will probably be disclosed the minute I share it on social media. But that makes me feel like a CEO, and that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my day, because I am not a 7-figure CEO yet, but I'm stepping into it as if I am. And this is exactly what a CEO would do on a Monday afternoon, would be the kind of planning that I'm going to go do from the kind of location I'm going to do it. Because I'm all in. I believe I'm all in on my business. What did you guys think of this? What's a takeaway? You know, I always ask that before I go, though. What was your biggest takeaway from today? What's something you're going to do differently? What's something you're thinking about differently? What's something you want to talk about? Like, what is it? Like, let me know if you're watching on replay. Also, let me know. I'll be reading your answers in the comments. I'll be responding. I'm so excited. And then join me on, I mean, guys, that was just myth number 1. And it was big, right? And I think almost all of us were like, yep, there's something there that until I let that go or deal with that, I can't go all in on my business, right? So we're getting that one out of the way right away. We're gonna let that go. Then on Wednesday, we're talking about myth 2. Okay, so myth 2, and then on Friday at 12 o'clock, we're gonna talk about myth 3, and we're gonna bust through these myths so that you can go all in. So share your takeaway. Let me know what you're gonna be doing differently. I can't wait to talk about it. If you're having the 90-minute intensive, shout it out. Let me know that you signed up for it. I'm so excited to work with you and to talk to you and share all the things and all the support and resources that can help you have the same kind of experience, trust, faith, action results that we've talked about today. Have a good day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.